Hey guys, I'm Jake. Welcome back to Limited Productions, and today we're going to be looking over my Daihatsu Mira. It's originally a 3-cylinder 660cc kei car from Japan, and I bought it the main reason I bought it was to daily around instead of my other cars, but it has since escalated. So when I bought it, the whole side, this side was smashed in about, I don't know, 500 mil. The seats were together. So since then we've pulled it out, fixed it up as best we can, and now I drive it around as a daily still. But yeah, so we got it all straightened out, and I was on my P's, and my intentions were to turbo it eventually, but I had a few years where I could play around and sort of modify it without going illegal kind of thing. So the first thing I did was make a body kit for it, lower it a bit. Yeah, I can't even think of like what I've done because there's so much stuff. So once I got off my P's, I whacked a turbo onto the original engine. It was just a IHI RHB32, I think, which is the stock turbo from Japan in the turbo variants, but on my non-turbo engine. And eventually that blew the rings and everything. It didn't really work out. So then I put another motor in with the same turbo setup, and I put a piggyback ECU on, but unfortunately the piggyback didn't really work that great. So after a while then it just ended up happening again. So that was another motor gone. And then I got another 660 and I cleaned the head up and bought an 850 motor from a Move. And I used the block to mate the 660 head onto the 850 block. And I put a RH4 turbo from a Subaru, I believe, with the stock rear housing, so just the bigger front housing on the turbo with stock manifold and all that, and a standalone Adaptronic ECU, and that made 70 horsepower. And I did a few track days with that, and it wasn't, I'd say I was a bit hungry for more, I guess. So I went to a TF035 turbo, which is slightly smaller than a TD04. It's off a Mitsubishi Triton, I think, and it's running 16 psi, 440cc injectors on E85, and it's making 90 horsepower at the moment, which in a 660 or 600-ish kilo car is not bad, I guess. It goes all right. It's running a 2-inch exhaust from the turbo to the cat, and then a 2.5-inch straight back. And then, yeah, that's about it for the engine, I guess. So to get the power to the ground, I'd say, we've done some suspension work. In the rear we have just cut down patrol springs, so they're really quite stiff. And we've got shortened Mitsubishi Colt shocks, so the wheel doesn't, so the spring doesn't become captive when it's up in the air, kind of thing. And in the front we have S13 coilovers modified to fit the strut top and the hub, and we've retained the S13 camber tops as well. And that's about it for suspension. With tyres, we have 13 by 7-inch wheels, Riverside R101s, with Nankang NS2R tyres, 175/50s. They seem to grip fairly well once they're warm, but they're plenty enough to get the small car around the track fairly nicely. So originally this car was red from the factory. After a while I put a white stripe down the side, kind of like a Bozo Zuku type style stripe, and since then, well after that, I bought another Mira and it was white, so we put a red stripe down the side, and they were kind of opposite color scheme, but they're really nice, looked really nice together. But we drove around like that for like 2 years, I'd say, and then I got a bit bored of the red, so we ended up sanding it back and painting it this black silver two-tone with heavy silver glitter in it. Yeah, that's how it ended up. To go through the body kit now, I guess. So the front lip, this is a stock front bar. With the turbo manifold situation, it was a bit hard to get it to fit behind the original grille. So the front bar's been cut and just like a mesh type system's gone in there. But the front lip is just a bit of plastic off a random Lancer bumper, I think, just heated and molded to fit. Then we got like a Drift D-Max universal bonnet scoop. It's actually been cut in half to fit the short bonnet kind of thing. Commodore, these mirrors are custom off a Commodore. They don't quite fit perfectly, but they work. And then the sunroof as well is off a Commodore too. It didn't take much to get that to fit, as the roof is pretty much the same curve. So then we go to side skirts. They are off the TRD Supra. They've been cut, shortened, yeah, modified to fit. They're just in with nutserts at the moment. Okay, then we get to the rear pods, the same plastic as the front lip. This is a standard TRXX model wing from Japan. This is just an aluminium sheet metal bent to the shape of the rear boot hatch to fit nicely. It looks alright. And we've got some splitters just made out of ABS plastic, and that's about it for the body kit and all the accessories that we've got going on. And under the bonnet we have the infamous 3-cylinder motor. You know, 660 head, 850 block. We've got a banana manifold from Malaysia that has been modified to fit, but it still doesn't really fit. The TF035 turbo is just sitting just in here. We've got an external gate screamer here, but it's plumbed back at the moment. It has the option of plumbing back or venting straight out. And then, so we've got also a adjustable cam gear, catch can, boost controller, manual boost controller. We've got GTR 440cc injectors, and a custom intercooler piping comes down and straight around here. Can't really see the intercooler because it's painted black for stealth. So, and yeah, and then we have just a regular fuel pressure regulator with a generic spark coil. I don't know if you can see that. We have the Dizzy off of a ED10, the 850 motor, because it has a lot thicker leads and I was having trouble with spark. Yeah, and then you got the strut brace, and that's pretty much it for the engine.
Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the little overview of this mad key car. It's very cool, kind of like my move, so I love it. Anyway, make sure you check out all of our socials and all of our other videos. Check out Jake at his YouTube channel. We'll put it somewhere, maybe up here, down there, or on the car. Either way. So yeah, thanks, and we'll catch you next time. Hell yeah, brother.
Jeez, how are you so good at that?